Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is Very Metal Man here. Welcome you all back to our Let's Play of Dark Souls Remastered. In our last video, we did pretty much everything there was to do in the Artorias the Abyss Walker DLC. We killed Artorias, we killed Manus, and we killed Calamite. We didn't get Calamite's tail, but that's because it wasn't really worth trying to get. And we learned about some really important lore behind the backstory of the Dark Soul and the Abyss itself. So, speaking of the Abyss, when I was trying to figure out how to open up this video, I decided to come here. And drop the Soul of Manus inside the crow's nest. Because if you do that, you get a new spell. The Pursuers. That taken care of, we can just head back. Fly, crow that may or may not be Velka. Yeah, there's actually a couple of theories around that the flying crow that takes you to and from the asylum is actually Velka, but that's pretty nonsensical, and it doesn't really have anything to do with anything else. Let me see. Ooh, alright. Okay. Now, Pursuers is a pretty interesting sorcery. First of all, it's a dark sorcery. Let's see. Sorcery of Manus, Father of the Abyss. Grant a fleeting will through the dark of humanity and follow the result. The will feels envy, or perhaps love, and despite the inevitable trite and tragic ending, the will sees no alternative and is driven back towards the next target. Now, this spell requires you to give up 2 spell slots for 3 shots of Pursuer. So that's what we'll do. Speaking of souls, we'll go back to the Duke's archives and buy the last crystal sorcery from our good pal Big Hat Logan here.
Oh, the tomes stored in these are a great pool of knowledge. Some would say Seath had an unsound fiction. All and I certainly bear no end.
So, already there, and last sorcery. Homing Crystal Soul Mass. Let's see.
The tomes store all and I.
All right.
Come again. The knowledge.
Okay. Now the reason I did that is so I can show off the difference between Pursuers and the homing soul masses. Let's see. Soul Mass, homing crystal soul mass. Yeah, okay. What's the perfect thing to test this on? Perfect thing to test this on. Jesus Christ. Alright, guess I'll go at the fire link, whatever. Now, the damage each version of the homing spell do will depend on the spell itself. So let's start with the basic one. Homing Soul Mass. And yeah, the damage will be enhanced by our magic boosting equipment. $244. Homing Crystal Mass. 170 when you're blocking. $309. $476. $453. Oh, and another thing about this is, I think, since the Tin Banishing Callus gets physical dexterity scaling, the Pursuer's ability will actually be more powerful. This. Okay. 506! Yes, it is more powerful. So here's the thing about Dark Sorceries. They all get physical damage scaling since they also deal physical damage. Or rather, they're magic sorceries that deal exclusively physical damage. So what that means is, if you have... Since the Tin Banishing Callus has... Dexterity... has physical scaling, period. Mostly from dexterity. Your Dark Sorceries damage will be higher if you cast it with the Tin Banishing Callus than you will with any other Callus in the game. That being said, there is one other Callus in the game that increases the power of Dark Sorceries. And that would be the... that would be the... the Manus Callus. If you kept Manus' soul, you could also take it to the giant blacksmith in Anor Londo and use it to... Let's see here. You could also use it to turn... Yeah, the Manus Callus. I lost my train of thought there, but what I was trying to say is that you could basically use it to just turn the Manus Callus. The thing with the Manus Callus, however, is that if you do equip it, then all of your spell charges will be cut in half in exchange for the extremely high magic scaling you'll be rewarded when you do the deed. Let's see. Okay. Solar, Great Solar, Heavy Solar, Great Solar, Home Soul Mass. Hush. Let's see. Okay. So, without anything else to do, we're just gonna progress the plot. Since I think I've finished explaining myself. Alright. Now, we just go down here. Yeah. You open this chest, and you get Prism Stones. Pretty weird item to get this late into the game, to be honest, until you realize what area's coming up. And by that I mean there's an area coming out where these prism stones might actually be worthwhile. Kill the crystal golems there. There are crystal golems pretty much all over this area. Be careful not to aggro them because they can swarm you and it will hurt. These guys are much stronger than the ones you find in the Dark Lagoon. Much stronger. We get the crystalline armor set for all our searching. Crystallized armor worn by a hollowed knight, who was partially crystallized. The power of the crystal grants high defense. And those are pretty high defenses, to be fair. So yeah, the area coming up here is actually going to be kind of a test of your patience. Oh, I got a random humanity. Good. The Crystal Cave. Sometimes I call it Crystal Caves by accident. Yeah, you can easily dodge that guy if you just do that. And here's the gimmick. Invisible floors. Dark Souls level design kind of takes a nosedive here because instead of genuinely challenging level design, it kind of resorts to using gimmicks to keep the player on their toes. Like so. The enhanced particle effects means that it's genuinely easier to use the snow in order to tell where you're supposed to be going. Oh, a golden golem. Jesus Christ. I think you can actually get a blue Titanite slab in here too, but since that's gonna be nigh impossible. Okay. Man, I'm super glad we have this poke. Oh, hey. Oh, jeez. Imminent fall. Oh, man. Okay. So, wait. Oh my god, that's a developer message! There's no way to upvote it! Okay. Just go straight ahead. It really messes with your head. If you do that, you'll be basically fine. Another soul of a hero. Oh, Jesus Christ. And yes, what these enemies are called moonlight butterflies. Now, spoiler alert, these are actually a boss you can encounter pretty early in the game. Since they're meant to be challenging to you at a much lower level. But, because of the obvious fact that you can just, you know, get here without actually fighting that boss to progress through the plot, that happens, and you're basically just kind of... Okay. Okay. Mutant clams. They have a random chance of dropping Twinkling Titanite when you kill them, so they're pretty... Oh, they also have a random chance of dropping Purging Stones. So, with just 2 humanity, we got pretty lucky, all things considered. I think this is the last one. Oh man, they have a lot of health, frankly, so it's like... a Twinkling Titanite and a Purging Stone at the same time, with our level of item discovery. I have a wonder if they just improved the, if they improved the item drop rate. Okay, so... these giant clams are called man-eater shells. They walk on 5 thin legs, and they have piles of human skulls from previous victims inside their mouths. Yeah, those are skulls. You can see the design of the skull on their inside their bodies. Now, according to the wiki, they have a 20% chance to drop Twinkling Titanite and 10% chance to drop Purging Stone. So the fact that this one dropped both of them is incredible. Really lucky. And that's, of course, without taking into account our ability to increase item drop rates. And because of how their bodies are shaped, it may actually be a little bit hard. It may actually be a little bit hard to see if they dropped an item. Just due to the way the yellow item glow may be hard to see. So, this is an obvious boss area. Nothing left to do except do it. Let's get this right. Oh my god, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think I hacked the wrong part of his tail. So yeah, that's death 1 against Seath the Scaleless. I think I attacked the wrong part of his tail. Man, okay. Let's just rest here. We don't need to kindle that bonfire yet because... well, we just don't need to. We have 18 Estus Flask. The hazardous thing about the Crystal Cave isn't, well, is not dying. It's getting back there. As you see here, this is basically the nadir. See, Seath's tail weapon is pretty unique. First of all, unlike the other Dragon Tail weapons which deal purely physical damage, Sif's tail weapon deals purely magical damage, so it's pretty valuable to our build. Or at least it will be if we can get it. Another thing, though, is the fact that unlike every other dragon weapon in the game, this weapon scales with your intelligence stat. It actually has scaling damage, so it's, genuinely speaking, going to be more powerful on average than the average tail will be. Now, 40,000 souls and 2 humanity isn't really much, so I don't feel like I'll miss out on anything if I don't end up getting... if I end up dying for some stupid reason. No idea why you died. Yeah, there are actually 3 crystal lizards in here, so... Oh! Yeah. I have no problem with that whatsoever. It'll make leveling up a bit of a pain, though, but no problem with the fact that I died there. So, the Duke's Archives is basically a better level to explore than the Crystal Caves are, because the fact that there's an element of challenge to its intricacy that isn't reliant on you pulling out a cheap gimmick. The gimmick here is how easy do you want to traverse the level, and do you have to make a sacrifice? Basically, you have to sacrifice the ease in which you can travel back to the bonfire and the safety of getting to a bonfire in order to... Well, okay. That was pretty much on me. It's not a cheap death at all. So, basically, the gist of my strategy is I have to double buff in order to deal as much damage as I possibly can to Sif's tail. And another thing is I have to make sure that I cut off Sif's tail by attacking the tip. If I don't hit the tip... it's basically the same as not hitting the tail at all. I think it was, genuinely speaking, easier to get the Gaping Dragon's tail to cut off than it was to cut Sif's tail. That's hilarious. That's actually really hilarious. Not much to say. It's just that, let's see, I guess we can talk about some seafloor around the way there. Okay. You know, I need to figure out a way to incorporate random topics into my live streams, because without that, I don't feel like I have much of interest to say. And I know that's a common thing I've said in all my LPs, but... I can follow you down there. We can do falling damage to that guy in order to stun him. That's hilarious. No, that's actually hilarious to me. These giant golems made out of living mineral can be stun-locked by anyone. Alright. Alright. So, okay, Sif the Scaleless. A primordial dragon who betrayed his brethren because he was born without scales. Right? That's the gist of it. Lord Gywn presented Sif a dukedom in the archives of Anor Londo. He holds the title Grandfather of Sorcery. Gywn gave Sif a fragment of his lord's soul before attempting to stave off the end of the Age of Fire. Sif drove himself insane and blind while researching the scales of immortality he was born without. No, there aren't any more crystal lizards. We are now, we just have to go straight forward. So you can see the trick there is just aiming to get to the bonfire. Okay. Let's see. I want to kill these things fast, so let's just do this. Yeah. Let's see, those are 3 shots instead of 4. You come over here because I know you want some. Bitch! Yeah. Considering how lucky I was the first time I cleared these guys out. And that was with only 2 humanity. Twinkling Titanite. Alright. So, yeah. This time, we have to deal with a fog gate. So, let's pick up where we left off. Oh, some poor bastard got cursed. Come closer. Oh boy. Wow! Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Kindle the flame up. And one more. Oh, only 15? Okay. Well, 15 is better than nothing. It's a lot better than going that way 14. I'm not going down past 30 soft humanity. So I have a limited time frame in order to actually cut the tail. And on top of that, I need to find a way to damage the tail super fast. That tail can take a beating, though. I don't remember it being that difficult to cut it off. Because that's seriously not fair, actually, when you think about it. He can just tail stomp you. Whoop. Alright. He can just tail stomp you whenever he wants, really. Matchmaking failed. What that's really saying is someone tried to invade me and they weren't able to do it. Not that I care, because really I wouldn't have stuck around anyway. I am pleased to see that people will invade as high as level 100, though. That's actually really, really nice to see. Alright, alright. Let's see. Alright. As long as you aim right for the center, you'll be able to safely traverse the abyss. can summon for help. Or we could. Oh well. Oh well. We don't actually need help summoning for Seath. The only thing we need to make sure we can do is cut the tail off. Whoa. Okay. What in the world? Defeat Seath the Scaleless without getting his soul, or his tail weapon apparently. That sucks. That really sucks. I actually really wanted the Moonlight Greatsword. God. That really sucks. I did everything I was supposed to do. The weapon is inside the wall. You quite. Yeah, no, that sucks. I really wanted it. Okay. Again, no purpose in kindling this bonfire here, because it's just an end of boss thing, dude. Let's use one of these. Alright. Duke's Archives. I'm really bummed out now, because I... So, after you kill Seath the Scaleless, and after you buy every last sorcery in Big Hat's inventory...
Who are you? Stay clear of my work. Curses upon you. How dare you disturb me? Who are you?
He's basically gone fully hollow. Well, he's nearly hollow, I should say. Alright, so... let's see, warp. Before we do anything further, we're gonna go back to Sen's Fortress. The reason for that is because there's a sorcery that we can pick up from here. And it is the second to last sorcery I think I need in order to get the All Sorceries trophy. So for that, all I really need to do is avoid these people, get at the shortcut. I'm amazed at how tough these snake men are. They just survive fatal drops like that, like it's no one's business. Nope. You kill that giant, I think that basically stops the boulder trap. Yeah. Water Soul for Proud Knight. Black Sorcerer set and the Hush Sorcery. Sounds like someone's here, but oh well. Okay, so we're going back. So what does a Hush Sorcery do? Sorcery developed by a certain serendipitous sorcerer of Vinhelm in Dragon School. Mask all noises of caster. Effectively, Vinhelm is controlled by the Dragon School, and it's no wonder that the town has a share of dark secrets. For that matter, you can tell there are notable differences between the Sorcerer Cloak and the Black Sorcerer Cloak. The Sorcerer Cloak is a cloak worn by proper sorcerers who studied at Vinhelm Dragon School. The majority take pride in having studied at the Academy and look down on breaking the formal dress code established for sorcerers. So, our character's starting origin was, he's a super pretentious, rich kid. Okay. And the Black Sorcerer Cloak is a cloak worn by the secret sorcerers at the Vinhelm Dragon School. They secretly work with sound-based spells and reveal themselves. So basically, anyone who's wearing this uniform is a spy for the Dragon School of Vinheim. What this basically does is that casts Griggs here in a completely different light than what I recall him being in. Let me see. I don't think you can have both the Hush sorcery and the Hidden Body sorcery on at the same time. Alright, so... let's put Hidden Body back on. Okay, yeah, that was weird. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. That was the whole point of using Hidden Body. Jesus Christ. The whole point of using Hidden Body was so I didn't have to deal with complete nonsense like that. My controller just flipped out and it just turned off. Okay. Jesus Christ. So, thank you for that free Estus, whoever just kindled their bonfire. Yeah, I have no idea why my controller just freaked out like that. It was really bizarre. So now we're going to go back to the room we originally met, see if the scale is in. There's Big Hat Logan. And sneak up on him, as a spy won't do. And get that backstab. One hit from a Crystal Soul Spear. Did that do it? Jesus Christ. Or was that a counter hit because he was in the middle of casting one of his spells? Jeez. Oh well. So Big Hat's questline ends with him becoming hollow and attempting to replicate... yeah. Wisdom of a Sage. We now have every non-DLC sorcery in the game. So let's praise the sun to that. Now check this out. The Tin Crystallization Catalyst has a 280 magic adjust and an S scaling in damage. However, Catalyst imbued in terrifying crystal magic, used by Logan after his fixation on Seath, makes all sorceries incredibly powerful, but demands extremely high intelligence from its wielder and halves sorcery usage. You need 32 intelligence at minimum in order to equip this thing. No exceptions. You also get his signature Big Hat after killing him. Gigantic Hat worn by the great sorcerer Logan. It completely hid his face, which led to his nickname Big Hat. Famously antisocial, Logan used it to block out noise and people's stares so he could focus on his own thoughts, but it does not possess any special magic powers. So yeah, it's a version of the Wizard Classic attire. You also get the large magic ember from this place. Ember required for a weapon ascension. Large magic ember, a form of sorcery, handled only by the Windhelm magic blacksmiths. Ascends a +5 magic weapon and allows reinforcements for +10. The most powerful level for magic weapons. Now as you see here, this is actually the same area where we fought Sif the Scaleless the first time. Since he's no longer in his personal archive, Logan took up residence here and decided to try to learn everything he could from Sif's studies, which includes trying to learn the White Dragon Breath sorcery. Sorcery developed by Logan during his infatuation with Sif the Scaleless. It made Crystal Breath of Sif the Scaleless. Now, the Crystal Breath is what Sif will use against us during his boss fight. We saw it twice now. Although it no longer causes curses, thank God, what madness caused old Big Hat to appropriate this frightful power of the ancient dragons? It's called losing your humanity. That's the only explanation. So, that is the tragic end of Big Hat Logan's story. He doesn't necessarily go out with a bang, but just a whimper. I mean, just a whimper. Oh, there's one last thing we need to pick up, though, and that's the chest that spawns at Big Hat's previous location once he's killed. Right behind him. See, Big Hat was noticeably stripped naked of everything except his big hat, so left the rest of his equipment behind here. Robe worn by Big Hat Logan. It is said to have been from his apprentice days at Dragon School, but is so worn out no one knows what it originally looked like. Logan, who cared little for his appearance, no doubt ever bothered to change out of it. So yeah, the guy's actually kind of filthy. And the real prize here is getting the Logan's Catalyst. S scaling, needs 24 intelligence to equip, magic adjustment of 30. 230. Catalyst of Big Hat Logan, the great sorcerer and seeker of knowledge. Originally the same catalyst employed by the Windhelm sorcerers, only terribly strengthened over time due to Logan's use. Very powerful when used by one of superior intelligence. Basically, after you hit 40 intelligence and go beyond that, it has better intelligence scaling than the sorcerer's catalyst. So, this is the catalyst you should basically be using for endgame sorcerer builds. Now we're going to go back and tell Griggs about what happened to Big Hat.
Oh, hello. You made it. Then let us begin as promised.
I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hope it wasn't gone too long for you guys. So yeah, we have nothing left to purchase for him except another copy of Holy Soul Mass.
Goodbye then. Do.
So you know what? Let's do that. Hard Souls.
Oh,
That's about it.
I have decided to seek the Regal Archives. I realize that I may never make it, but I would feel worthless if I did not at least try. What other choice do I have to earn Logan's recognition? I have decided to seek. But what other? All right. May we?
Oh, we'll meet again very soon.
Damn, that's stench. And I was really beginning to like it here. Maybe it's time I do something about it.
Oh man, look at the bass over here. He's actually going to do something. Alright. So let's see. Undead Parish. We're going there next. And the reason we're going there is so that we can finish off Grig's questline. Yeah. This episode will be about... Oh. Yeah, actually, after we do Greg stuff, we'll have to head back to Firelink Shrine, actually, so that I can turn in C's half of his Lord Soul. Hidden by works well enough as a cover. As long as you're too far away from someone, you won't draw in their line of sight aggro. Whatever works. Now, unlike the other giant at the gate and the one that throws the bombs, the giant down here will respawn every time you leave and come back, like every other normal enemy type can. See how much damage we're able to do with the Logan Catalyst? Over 1,000 points of damage with a Crystal Soul Spear. Incredible stuff. Alright. There he is. Griggs has gone hollow. His attempt to follow Big Hat Logan, he just lost his mind due to the madness of Sen's house. Besides humanity, his slumbering Dragon Crest ring, and his Hush sorcery. As long as you have the Slumbering Dragon Crest to win your crit, the wearer produced no sound whatsoever. This ring was secretly worn by a certain serendipitous sorcerer at Vindham Dragon School. This ring is engraved with an everlasting dragon in silent slumber, and masks all sound from its wearer. So yeah, no sound whatsoever. It's like you were a phantom. And you can combine this with the Hidden Body Sorcery in order to achieve basically the best level of stealth you can get in this game. The best level. So I'm just wearing it for funsies. So basically, the gist of it with Griggs is that, yeah, it's implied that he was following Big Hat Logan on orders from Vinhelm. It was just a spy sent to learn what he was learning.
Very well.
I mean, just a spy. And there was nothing else to him. He's a nice guy and all, but considering the equipment he had on his person, what did it really say about him that he, I mean, what does it really say about him? Alright. So, let's go back up.
I am it.
Yeah, warp.
Are you ready?
The reason you're asking him to warp you back is simply for convenience, if you don't want to leave Firelink Shrine for whatever reason. Just yet. Now, since we placed either a Lord Soul or one of Gywn's soul shards into the Lord Vessel,
that you have agreed to link the fire. I thank you sincerely. Finally, the curse of the undead will be lifted. And I can die human. I am powerless, but I will do all that I can. Please, save us all. Please.
Now, what she did there was fully kindle the Firelink Shrine bonfire, all on her own. You won't get that dialogue if you already fully kindled the bonfire. See that? We went up to 20 Estus flasks. Already went up to 20. So the next step is getting the second half of Gywn's soul for today. Alright. So, more about Seath. In a desperate attempt to become immortal, he vehemently researched the Everlasting Dragon scales after having the Lords win the war. And with the power of the Primordial Crystal, he attained his wish. But by then, he's become too insane to really embrace his newfound immortality. So his research had a cost.
That's an odd ember you have there. Ah, I know what you were thinking. But I'm no good with those. It won't be easy. But I'm afraid you'll have to look for someone else.
And he's telling you that if you decide to bring him any embers on his person that you already didn't possess.
Oh, yes. I'll be seeing you next week.
So, if you're used to having Andre do all your upgrades for the majority of the game, then your first instinct would just take the Crystal Ember or the large Magic Ember to him. And I don't blame players for doing that. You can still make noise with your side stabs, but not if you're running. Totally silent. I think you can only break the stealth if you decide to get up close and personal. Even when you walk in the water, you don't make any sound. Now, there are a load of summon signs out here, apparently, which is actually pretty amazing, but hey. Hey, hidden bonfire here. Why not? Here, You can just kindle your bonfire in peace. We're up to 20, and now we can enter the Darkwood Garden here. Crystal magic weapon. What I want to do is use I want to use Dark Bead, I want to use Pursuers, so... Alright. If you have the Great Crest of Artorias, you can unlock this door and basically make a bum rush for it. This place is Invasion Central. Oh my god. Oh god. Woo! Run for it. Run for it. Run for it like your life depends on it, because it basically does. Run. Yep. Now, none of those guys will chase after you once you get past the gate here, so you're technically safe. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, wow. They really improved the AI draw distance, didn't they? Okay. So anyway, you'll notice that these are... Oh, someone invaded. Not enough time for this. Oh my god. Okay. Let's just evade that guy. Whoop. Yo, later. Ah! Oh god. Ah! Okay. Whoop, whoop. Okay. But you know what, that's fine. All I need to do was make sure I could open the gate. We just need to make the run back. So yeah, that guy is wearing a piece of equipment called a fog ring. What that will do is basically give him a permanent casting of the hidden body sorcery. Run for it. Run for it. Those guys will keep following you no matter what you do. Well, not really. There's a limit they'll have. Let me see here. If you notice, these giant mushrooms are basically the same thing as the, literally the same type of being as a talking giant mushroom lady we found back in the past. And they have a lot of health. And they drop gold pine resin. But if we go in here, we get the enchanted ember. So yeah, this is literally the future of the Oasial lands. And I wonder what happened to the lady, to Elizabeth. That's right. What happened to Elizabeth, I wonder? Is it possible for these plant people to die of natural causes? I know plants do die of natural causes, but she seemed like she'd be around for centuries. Oh, did that much time pass between between our defeat of Artorias and Manus and present day? I have no clue. Beware of sorrow. Need jumping. Oh yeah. Technically, if you already... There's technically a little exploit you can do here with the geography after you summon the boss fight. Like, it's possible for you to actually get up there and try to, well, basically use bows and arrows in order to kill Artorias, kill the upcoming boss, I mean, without having to worry about getting hit, but we're not going to do that. Using dark sorceries against this boss is going to be kind of hilarious in an ironic way, but you'll see what we mean. The Hornet Ring. We'll get to that later. For right now, though, it's boss time. Yo, remember this? Easy boy. One Smith, and he recognizes you. Yeah. Sif recognizes you. So this is actually one of the neatest things that the Artorias the Abyss Walker DLC added to the game. Alright. I don't want to do this, but fate has led us this path. Woo! Whoa! Good night, sweet tight young lovers. Soul of Sif, the Covenant of Artorias, a humanity, and a homeward bone. So that is what dark sorcery will do to the base game bosses when we have enough power for it. 19k damage with Dark Bead, 15k damage with 3 Pursuers. It's insane. And this is Artorias' sword in the rust. So let's look at these sorrowful tales. Soul of Sif. Special beings have special souls. Soul of Sif of the Great Grey Wolf, who guards the grave of Artorias the Abyss Walker. Nothing else there, but yeah, see, the thing with Sif is there is that if you rescued Sif from the Chasm of the Abyss, if you rescue Sif from the Chasm of the Abyss, what he ends up doing is he'll recognize you in the present day, and he'll mourn, and he'll mournfully howl at the moon and take up his sword to defend Artorias' grave, knowing that instead of being an intruder, it's actually an old friend and his former rescuer he has to fight. So it's super tragic that way, right? And what does the Cleansing Great Shield have to say about this? The steel Great Shield used by Artorias, who succumbed to the Abyss. Artorias, deeply scarred by the Abyss, used this to form a barrier to protect his compatriot Sif. Although the strength of the shield, its magic defense remains high. So basically, this is like the Great Shield in the game. Look at the Giant Shield's magic defenses. 60% magic defense, 75% fire defense, 75% lightning defense. But it also has 100% physical stability. Compare that to the Cleansing Great Shield. 80 magic, 80 fire, and 70 lightning defenses. The only area it does worse in than the Giant's Shield is physical defense, but because of how high those magic defenses are, it's pretty much for the best. Not only that, but the Cleansing Great Shield has 77 stability and requires just 31 strength, compared to the 68 stability, the 36 strength the Giant Shield needs. So that's why it looks like a nerf. And finally, the Hornet Ring. One of the special rings granted to the four Knights of Gywn. The Hornet Ring belonged to the Lord's Blade Siren. By boosting critical hits, it's where it can annihilate foes, as Siren's dagger laid waste to Lord Gwyn's enemies. So this is Artorias' grave after the DLC. It's a giant, massive rock continuously guarded by his old compatriot. A compatriot he sacrificed his left arm and shield in order to protect. Now, it might be difficult to remember, but in our boss fight for Artorias, you can tell that his left arm was basically limp and useless. And he was still able to give us one hell of a fight. So one can only imagine how difficult Artorias would have been as an opponent if he had full access to all his faculties. If that, instead of having to deal with his shield. How powerful an Artorias using his shield would be. Like, imagine how nearly... Yeah, trap. Not really worth the hassle. But it's such an obvious trap that you have to deliberately have walked into it in order to, like, not get what's going on. So, whatever. This is another part of the Darkroot Garden. And these are the new Stone Soldiers. 218 health. Now, remember what we said about the Crystal Hollows back at the Duke's Archives. They, too, had low health. But it was basically done in order to balance out how high their defenses were. And that's basically it. In fact, I need to go back and turn myself human because there's actually a person I want to summon for the boss fight. Now, this boss fight, again, is not necessary in order to progress the plot. Not at all. The only reason we are doing this is because... Well, actually, this NPC has a quest line. That's why I'm doing it. More to the point, this NPC... If you're here early in the game, generally speaking, this NPC makes that particular part of the game a lot easier. Let's just avoid everyone else by going sideways. See how little damage they actually dealt us? That's the power of coming to this game as a late game Souls player. So by the by, these Stone Guardians are not only dangerous because they're high defense, but because if they two-hand their greatswords, they have the ability to cast a special miracle called Tranquil Walk of Peace. And what that will do is completely encumber your movement to the point where you can't run, and you won't be able to use the roll button. So, Witch Beatrice. Now, for the... Okay, actually, you know what? I'll just handle this the same... Actually, no. I think we need to bring Witch Beatrice with us in order to do this. Since I'm pretty sure I'll just one-shot the boss with Dark Bead if I don't do this. We need to bring Witch Beatrice with us to make her questline compatible with what we're doing. There's the Moonlight Butterfly. They would not stop. 1,700 points of damage. So, I hope no one complains about that. Not that I have a problem with people voicing legitimate complaints about me using summons to help with bosses, but I hope no one actually insisted that I needed a summon to help that boss. I didn't need that help. It died to one shot of pursuers. The thing about the pursuers is that I don't think they have a range limit. They'll continuously follow whatever enemy you set them loose on, no matter how far they travel. Alright. So this, as you can see here, is actually the remains of a blacksmith, who looks suspiciously like Andre when you think about it. So to that end, yeah, this is a blacksmith's workshop. So to that end, this blacksmith was actually the Divine Ember Blacksmith. Ember required for weapon ascension. Divine Embers are property of the church and intended for divine blacksmiths. Divine weapons are for undead hunting, used against undead in the pawns of necromancers. So basically, necromancers are mostly pretty much totally located in the catacombs. If they're not responding NPC enemies, so if you kill one, they're basically dead for good. But if you don't kill one, then the only way to put down one of the skeletons in the area is to use a divine based weapon in order to permanently kill it. These snake gecko things are like the most hideous thing. Oh my god. Literally the most hideous. Now before we prepare to leave the garden, I think what we're gonna do is head over here. Ooh. Oh, okay. Whoa. See, individually they wouldn't be a problem, but when they gang up on you like that. Okay. Yeah, and every player in the game can honestly die unprepared to basically getting overconfident and forgetting that you're not invincible. Alright. I think it's supposed to go this way. There's one more ring that I want to get here. I just need to figure out, remember how to get it. Oh boy. So yeah, down here you can get those things. I don't think I'm going the right way, but whatever. That I have never understood. That's one enemy I have never understood. Here we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. This is it. Just to show off. And hey, we got their stone great shield to drop. That's neat. Alright. Okay, so we're done here. Well, not completely done. There's still a chest we can pick up. So, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind to try to get it. Oh. Alright. Oh my god. Alright. Now we have the stone guardian armor. Okay. Woo! All right. Let's give this divine ember to Andre. Hopefully he'll take it. I don't know why I just said that. I know he'll take it.
My, that's a rare ember you have there.
Yes.
I've seen one of those before. It's the ember of a divine blacksmith. Might you consider leaving that with me? I could produce divine weapons with a flame such as that. Well, thanks for that. You've made a fine decision. You soon shall see. I'll be seeing you then.
Alright. Okay, so what do I do from here on out? Let's change our spellbook loadout. I'm not sure if Dark Bead will be more damaging than Soul Spear. Let's go back to Dark Bead. Okay, Soul Spear. Power Fin. And Crystal Magic Weapon. The reason we're doing that... Alright. The reason we're doing that is because the next boss we're going to be fighting is a DPS race. Mechanically. Mechanically. So what we want to do is be able to kill it as soon as possible, as fast as possible. Now, to my utter strangeness, it appears as if we've lost, it appears as if the crestfallen warrior has actually abandoned us and decided to go on its own. Okay, so here's the wolf ring. One of the special rings granted to the four knights yada yada. This belonged to Artorias. Artorias had an unbendable will of steel and was unmatched with a greatsword. Here's the thing. You have the wolf ring equipped. Your poise goes up by a total of 40 points. Basically, this ring allows any light armor wearing build in order to have poise. any light armor wearing build whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's see. Large magic ember. Ember for blacksmith and witch ascension. Ember required for ascension. This enchanted ember, a form of sorcery, is a prestige in the lost land of Oasil. Ascended +5 magic weapon to enchanted weapon. The sorcerer's enchanted weapons that inflicts magic damage and is boosted by intelligence. So as far as I can tell, the thing about magic and enchanted weapons is that they do literally the same thing. They have the same damage scaling. They literally do the same thing and are in no way, shape, or form different from one another. So both of them being in the game is a little disappointing.
Hey, hang on. That's a sorcery ember, isn't it? Yes, it certainly is.
Yeah.
First I've seen since my banishment from Vinheim. What do you say, friend? Mind giving that to me? This is no man's land.
Oh.
I'm the only one who could handle it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, as you should. I won't disappoint you. I'm taskless no longer.
So let's talk to you.
Sorcery? Don't ask me how it actually works. We only fiddle and forge until it works itself in. That's how we do it in Vinheim. They prefer to leave the theorizing to those uppity scholars.
So you can see here that the magic blacksmiths have no real love for the high class at Vinheim. It was really elitist as a school, as a facility. So, Rickard here has no real... He can sell us some sorcery, but... We can buy a heavy soul arrow from him, but do we really need it? We don't. He only knows basic sorcery. That's how... That's the difference between Rickard here, someone like Griggs, and someone like Griggs. Griggs is a typical Dragon Scholar school student. While Rickard is just a blacksmith.
What is it? There's nothing to talk. We're both cursed.
Alright.
Come back soon. Smith, don't let me...
Alright.
Hey, hang on. Is that a sorcery ember? I've never seen one like that.
Yeah, it's from Oasil.
What a brilliant flame. Please, friend, let me have that. I am begging you. I am a craftsman of Vinheim. I'd go hollow before I pass him a flame like that.
Alright. So yeah, we'll give him the enchanted ember.
You are wonderful. I will forge a Ricket masterpiece just for you. A weapon to make a legend out of me.
And that's unfortunately all he has to say.
Smith, don't let me win.
Now, what will he say that if you bring him an ember he can't use?
Hey, hang on. Is that an ember? Oh, I'm sorry. We at Vinheim don't deal in shoddy embers like that.
Wow.
Try an old Smith out in the country.
So yeah, basically,
Smith, don't let me.
if you give him a non-compatible ember, he'll be a little bit snooty. We head down a little ways, and we run into good old Fen. The crestfallen warrior, who has decided to go hollow after basically deciding to do something about everything being attacked. We can actually just go down here now that the water's gone. And now that we have a plus 15 weapon, we actually have enough damage to one-shot these things. That's the other side, a place we just came from. hidden area. Come on. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. And I didn't reset Firelink beforehand, so we have to do that all over again. It's all over but the dying. Oh, you know what? I'm only going to the level normally to show you guys what the level's like, but... But we don't actually need to do that. Alright. So let's warp to... back to Firelink. Rest at Firelink. If there's one complaint I have about the new Londo Ruins, it's that it's such a drag. Doing all of it in one sitting, you really, really wish that this remaster added a bonfire to some place, at least for after you manage to... At least for after you manage to drain the ruins out. Oh, man. And now I need to reset this thing up, just in case I die again. Let's put on the wolf ring, so we have some poise. Now, poise is basically super armor. The more poise you have, the more damage you have to take before your attacks can be interrupted while they're in the middle of the attack animation. Secret passageway open itself up again. Come on. Oh, you dropped something. A chunk. Nice. And hey, we get another chunk after that. Keep in mind, we took off the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring to get that much damage. You go down here, you get cracked red-eye orbs. Transient Curse. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Another one of those bloated humanity heads gone. Alright. So, that's it. We don't have to deal with them anymore. Now, if you did a bit of searching, you'll be able to find which Beatrice's summon sign. But we're not going to use it. The reason we're not going to do that is because it's a waste of time. This is a DPS race, in which Beatrice, much less, perhaps more than any other summon in the game besides Knight Lautrec, is not exactly what you call a DPS monster. Yeah, you need Artorias, his ring. Also, for this fight, I'm going to go to the Crest Shield, because these bosses deal pretty significant magic damage to you. Need to wait for my Transient Curse buff to wear off. You can't, because the Transient Curse counts as a self buff, so you can't self buff with 2 self buffs. Man, this stuff lasts a lot longer than I recall it. Yeah, no, this is gonna take a while. Sorry, guys. I just really want to get Powerfin up. Wonder if I can get to end by doing this. Come on, continue. Hairbox. Loading times are... Oh. Alright. Alright, yeah. Cutting off Powerfin actually did it. Okay, still have the Covenant. Alright, good. Alright. Come on. I'm just going down the stairs because I don't want to, like, there we go. Coven the Abyss. There we go, the boss. Back up, back up. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. There's 2 of them now, great. Let's race! All right. So, let's see here. Like I said, the boss fight with the Four Kings is a DPS race because the main gimmick there is trying to kill them as fast as possible before you lose all your health. Now, the main thing about them is that each time you kill one of the Four Kings, what's supposed to happen is that another king will eventually spawn on a set timer. You see, each king spawns on a set timer. So the longer you take up a boss fight, the more kings will spawn. And truth be told, it's not called the Four Kings because there's literally 4 kings. You can end up fighting, I think, even 5 or 6 kings at once, if you aren't careful. Bequeathed Lord Soul. Oh, I forgot to even look at the boss lore for these. I'm sorry about that. Soul of one of the 4 kings who fell to dark. A fragment of the Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gywn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul and can still satiate the Lord Vessel. Alright. Alright. Now the 4 kings. Rulers of the former New Londo, who Gywn granted their positions and a piece of his Lord's soul for their council. However, they fall prey to the beasts of the abyss and that appeared under New Londo, and the knights of the city were corrupted into dark wraiths. Basically, the 4 kings boss fight is a giant dark wraith. This event led to the whole of New Londo being flooded and magically sealed. They now reside within the abyss itself, a pitch-black void in which nothing can survive, save those who remain in contact with the covenant of the beast within. Yeah, sure, whatever. Alright. So staying too close will make them trigger a magical area of effect attack that will damage you if you completely fail to take into account how much distance you really have. And the total health bar for this boss is the highest in the game, topping at about 9,500 points of HP at base. So the fact of the matter is that we could do 2K's worth of damage thanks to our high damaging buffs and our two-handed attacks. That's the key there. You have to understand and respect that you will not be any success against these boss fights if you go in with a gimmicky weapon or if you don't have anything that can push out high DPS. You need something that can damage them at a fast enough interval if you don't want to make the boss fight too difficult on yourself. So what are we going back up here for? Well, if you beat the 4 kings, you can talk to Igward again. And since his, well, I'll show you what I mean when we get back to him. Dark bead. Oh yeah, if you get down here, you can actually just do a jump and lay right back the 4 kings bonfire. Oh. Yep. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No matter how high your level is, if you let enemies gang up on you, you will die. Oh, well, okay. Oh yeah, once you've beaten the Four Kings, you don't need to, like, have the Covenant of the Artorias on in order to survive being at the Abyss. You can just stay down there forever. However, if you take the Covenant Abyss off during the boss fight, you will die. That's unavoidable. So, basically, back to the Four Kings, the rewards you get for being able to deal with their... the reward you get for being able to deal with the Four Kings with a high DPS build is only having to deal with the boss for maybe 2 of the 4 king spawns that are meant to be available to the boss fight to challenge the player. Dark Bead's shotgun-like spread and fairly high damage. It's basically my only saving grace against the, basically my only saving grace here, especially since I only have 1 transient curse left. Which you could have gotten more if I had picked up that item, but god. Okay. I wonder if going in with a stealth approach would be better, but... the stealth in this game is a nice gimmick, but just a gimmick. Yeah. Yeah, no. Oh, man. The worst thing, though, is when you run out of Transient Curse right when you're surrounded by a bunch of ghosts and you literally can't fight back. That's hell. That would be hell. Hey, Lucky Day. You joined the stream pretty late, actually, because we just did a ton of stuff right now. We killed Seath the Scaleless. I couldn't get the tail weapon, though, because I forgot which part of his tail I was supposed to cut off in time. And I didn't want to have to deal with the boss fight being unnecessarily tedious. Then we killed Big Hat Logan and Griggs of Vinhelm after we completed their quest lines, and I got the All Sorceries trophy. Then we killed the Moonlight Butterfly and Grey Wolf Sith. And just recently we killed the Four Kings. So now we're going to talk to the last sealer of New Londo.
Magnificent. You defeated the Four Kings. Impressive, even for a bearer of the Lord Vessel. I have not seen the sun for a long time. Perhaps I could do with a change.
Once you talk to him there.
And with this, my purpose is exhausted.
Yeah. Now we have to go at the Firelink Shrine. When we get there, we'll see him in a new location. Shards. Up here, which is basically right on top of where Griggs and Big Hat used to be. Right on top.
Oh, hello. The sunlight made me wince. And now I've come back to this dark hole. So what brings you here? I will help you in any way I can.
You can have your curse broken, you can still buy infinite transient curse, all that good stuff. He can't talk to him for more lore, because there's no point. Let's see. So, last word on Seath. Let's see. Last word. Robe of the Channelers, sorcerers that serve Seath the Scaleless. Even after the onset of Seath's madness, the Snatchers, as they were often called, ventured to far lands to find suitable human specimens. The heaviest of protective gear for sorcerers and imbued with magic. But basically, okay, so basically, what these channelers are meant to do is for Seath to, in order to perform his experiments, Seath used his channelers to capture clerics from the Way of White Church and brought those clerics to his dukedom archives and then performed various experiments on them. Those are the Picasas we saw way earlier in the bottom of the Duke's archives. Clerics who have been transformed into hideous monsters. The same clerics, by the way, who are responsible for giving us these two miracles. Soothing and bountiful sunlight. So that's basically what Seath's been up to since the entire game. Just capturing people and torturing them. Turning them into vile experiments. If you remember Dark Souls 2, we actually met two more of his experiments in the form of Man Scorpion Tark and his wife, Scorpioness Nakja. Those are two more people that Seath apparently turned into monsters after he had reincarnated from his death. And by the time Vendrick rose to power. So you can see now what the Undead Curse, even if you're not actually an undead, can do to people. It's pretty horrific stuff. People will lose their minds in this world, and it's up to us to put it right again, in one way or the other. So that's going to be it for today's episode. If you liked today's episode, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time when we... Let's see. We only really have two more paths to go to for the plot. And they aren't really plot heavy. So it really depends on my luck. So I'll see you next time. Praise the sun. And take care.